Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day number 5 of albums that are 50 years old in 2025. It's the new year. It's January. That's what we do every January. We look back 50 years to wish happy birthdays and happy anniversaries to some albums that are celebrating that 50-year mark, that 50-year thing. Going back to 1975, one of the great years in music history. So many killer albums from 1975. So many. So hard to pick just 31. But we got to do it, right? I'm still trying to figure it out because I got a lot sitting in the wings that I feel really bad that I couldn't squeeze into my top 31. So I'm looking at that 31 that I picked and I'm like, all right, which one of these can I maybe swap out, right? Because if you're even considering a swap, you should do it, right? We'll see. We'll see. It's still a work in progress. Sometimes I go through the entire list of releases and I instantly, okay, these are the ones. This time, this year, I'm kind of like, man, I'm not sure about some of these. I love them, but do I love some of these more? We'll see, right? Anyway, today is a no-brainer. Today is an absolute no-brainer. This album was released in March of 1975. Recorded at AAR Studios. However they say that. Air. Is it Air or AIR? I always just call it Air, but you never know. They always do it in capitals, so is it AIR? I don't know. In London, England. Produced by George Martin for Epic Records. I'm talking about, yes, indeed, one of the great instrumental albums of all time. Jeff Beck's Blow by Blow. Call it instrumental rock. Call it jazz rock. Call it jazz fusion. It's just a great album. It's an instrumental album of absolute brilliance. The first instrumental album released by Mr. Beck, obviously at the time, influenced and inspired by things that guys like John McLaughlin was doing with Mahavishnu Orchestra, things that Tommy Bolin was doing with Billy Cobham and Alphonse Mouzon, right? This whole jazz rock and jazz fusion movement. Jeff is kind of like, hey, maybe I can do this, right? So he brings on board a cool cast of characters, does some covers, some original material written by some of the folks in the band consisting of himself on guitars, obviously, Max Middleton on keyboards, Phil Chen on bass, Richard Bailey on drums, and a little bit of clavinet on the track by Mr. Stevie Wonder himself, right? So what do we have on this album? Like I said, this album is the beginning of a short run for him of all instrumental records that would embrace this kind of like jazz rock movement, this thing called fusion, right? And there's bits of funk on here, there's bits of rock on here, there's certainly pop and jazz. I mean, it's just kind of all mixed. I mean, Jeff Beck would probably tell you himself he's not a jazz musician, but he's embracing kind of like the textures and things of jazz, bringing on board guys who know how to play jazz, and out comes this wonderful album. You Know What I Mean starts it off. I love the funky bits of this album, just so good, mixed with his kind of like funk and savage rock guitar stylings, right? The solos are great on here, but it's so tasty. There's no overstepping of anything on this album. Everything is just absolutely perfect. You got You Know What I Mean, co-written by Max and Jeff on this one. Really cool song. Again, love his guitar tones on here. You got She's a Woman, of course, a great instrumental version of the Beatles classic. You got Constipated Duck, awesome song. Again, very funky. That one's written by Jeff. You got Air Blower, or AIR Blower, right? Again, in reference to the studio, co-written by everybody in the band. That's a great jam. You got Scatterbrain, which is awesome. I absolutely love Scatterbrain, written by Jeff and Max. Side 1 is just an absolute classic. Absolute classic. And, Jeff's solos on this are just so good. They're so tasty. They're so memorable. There's great licks all over the place. The electric piano stuff by Max is just so good. Great album. Great stuff. Over on side 2, you got a rendition of 'Cause We've Ended as Lovers, dedicated to Roy Buchanan. Again, written by Stevie Wonder. Great stuff. The yearning guitar work on that's just so good. You got an amazing take on Thelonious, another Stevie track, which is great. The one kind of like song that everybody talks about on this album, because it actually was played on rock radio for quite a lot, is Freeway Jam, written by Max Middleton. Freeway Jam is awesome. It's just this good driving kind of like funky jazzy rock tune, and it's just got some completely scorching lead guitars from Mr. Beck. So good. You know, it's funny because on the album cover and the back, he's playing like a Black Les Paul. But, I mean, to me, it sounds like a lot of this album was recorded on a Strat. So that's what it sounds like to me. And then the last track, the longest track, which I think is great. It's got some great orchestration on it. This Diamond Dust. Some great lead guitar work on that. Just so good. I mean, this whole album is just amazing. It's like about 45 minutes long. It's just absolute perfection. I absolutely love it. And as much as I love Wired, which is the album that came after this, which is even more pushing it into the crazy fusion realm. Of course, Jan Hammer's on that. I generally give the nod to this one by just a little bit. This is something really, really special about this album. The songs are great. The playing's great. The melodies. I mean, it's got amazing musicianship, but everything is just so memorable on here. Really, really good. On the charts, let's move over to the charts. Australia, number 28. Canada made it to number 3. Japan, number 27. New Zealand made it to number 38. And on the U.S. Billboard charts, made it to number 4. That's for an album like this, that's amazing. Sadly enough, back in his home country in the UK, didn't chart at all. Very strange. Canada, this was gold, 50,000 units sold. And here in the States, an amazing achievement for an all-instrumental record. Platinum, 1 million copies sold. How about that? How about that? Very, very cool stuff. And this, to this day, remains Jeff Beck's highest charting album. All right, so that is my pick for today. Blow by Blow by Mr. Jeff Beck, and a drop-dead classic that, of course, was going to make my list. One of the great guitar albums of all time. Let us know what you think of Blow by Blow down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today, day 5, on my 59th birthday. I celebrate with Jeff Beck today, and we'll see you tomorrow for pick number 6, or day 6, actually, day 6, right? We're just not in any order, right? We're just kind of laying them out there, and there's so many good ones. It's like the entire month is chock full of winners, man. It's crazy. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for ranking the albums in just a little bit. I will be ranking the albums of the great Dutch prog band Trace. They only have 3 albums. 3 pretty great albums, though. If you love crazy keyboard trio, classical, symphonic, progressive rock, you're going to love it, man. This guy, Rick van der Linden, is an amazing player. His Hammond organ work will blow your mind. He plays clavinet and harpsichord and piano and electric piano and ARP synthesizer and mellotron. But, man, the Hammond work is just over the top amazing. So 3 very, very cool albums. I'm ranking them in just a little bit. So stay tuned for that. And we'll see you soon here with more stuff. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, for those of you who'd like to help out the channel, we've got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, our Cameo page for personalized videos, and the Sea of Tranquility membership options all down below. If you do help out, thank you. We do appreciate it. And we'll see you soon here with more stuff. I'm Pete Pardo. Enjoy the rest of your day and weekend. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.